Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in. We're going to give it about another minute or so to allow for others to join in on this town hall. I'll give you an opportunity to review the agenda here before we get started. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening for what is likely the very last virtual town hall that we'll be holding for this school year. We've certainly discovered that this is really a good platform to be able to provide our community updates, and this is something that we will continue for the following school year. So be ready for a town hall before we kick off this upcoming school year. It's hard to believe that we are in May. I think when you look back in the summer when we started having some conversations about COVID back in June and July, there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry in the air as to how we were going to go about navigating this school year. And here we are. In spite of COVID, it has been such a rewarding and successful and smooth school year. And I have to thank you all. I have to thank our parents, our community, our staff, and our students for helping to make sure that we overcame all of the obstacles that came towards us during this school year. And I could not be more proud of how far we have come and how much we have grown as individuals, and just to see how strong this Seguin ISD community is. And now we're moving towards a more sense of normalcy, and that is a great feeling to have, especially as we prepare to kick off the summer. Going to share my screen and go over today's agenda with you all. I'm going to go over some COVID trends in our school district and in our community, as is common practice. I'm going to share a few reminders about the calendar prior to ending the school year. I'm going to also share thought exchange results. If you remember, we participated in a thought exchange where you had the opportunity to share thoughts and rate thoughts during the town hall, but also over the course of the next 6 or 7 days as well. I'm going to briefly talk about the governor's executive order, and if time permits, there may be some questions. I do have another obligation this evening. It's that time of year where there are multiple things that are happening. So it is going to be really important that we close on time, if not early. I also want to commend and recognize our top 10 graduating Seguin High School seniors. Our valedictorian, Rose Ellen Robertson, our salutatorian, Cassandra Ortiz, and the remaining top 10, Casey Silvius, Elena Parra, Layla Martinez, Camden Holt, Victor Pedraza, Corey Lynn Taylor, Luis Flores, and Tanya Suarez. So we are very proud of these individuals who will be representing Seguin High School and Seguin ISD as our top 10. As far as COVID is concerned, we continue to see progress taking place, not only in the school district, but in our community as a whole. Based on the latest data from today, we have 15 Seguin ISD students who are in quarantine, and we have no staff members who are currently quarantined. I truly believe that our safety protocols, as well as more and more individuals becoming vaccinated, are all contributing factors to the progress that we are seeing in Seguin and in Seguin ISD. We do, however, have 5 positive student cases that are recorded right now, a little higher than the last time that we visited, and 2 positive staff cases, which is also higher, I believe, than the last time that we visited. Some even better news across Guadalupe County, cases are looking much better, and our hospitalizations locally have gone down to 3. We were having discussions back in the summer about 40 plus individuals in the hospital with COVID, and now we are very thankful for the fact that we are in the single digits. And again, in the community, the numbers of quarantine and active cases that we're seeing are decreasing as more and more people are becoming vaccinated. It is certainly making the job of educating students much more smooth because we have fewer teachers and students being in and out due to being in quarantine or testing positive. I also want to remind the community that there is going to be a Pfizer clinic for ages 12 plus on Saturday, May 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church. So it is open to everybody who has not been vaccinated for those 12 years and up. I also want to remind you all about some late changes to the 2020-2021 academic calendar. Tomorrow is going to be a student half day, and that is in an effort to allow teachers to have time to prepare for the closure of this school year. The dismissal is 4 hours after start time. At Ball Early Childhood, our students are going to be dismissed at 11:45 a.m. and not p.m. Don't leave your kids at Ball until midnight, okay? It's 11:45 a.m. Elementary school will be dismissing at noon. Our middle schools will be dismissing at 12:10 p.m. Seguin High School at 12:35 p.m. and at MBLC at 12:45 p.m. and at the Discipline Alternative Center at Seguin at noon. So tomorrow, please remember to make arrangements to have your students picked up at noon or to be dropped off by bus early. On Thursday, June 10th, that is our new last day of school. It was formerly Friday, June 11th. So we are dismissing a day early to allow our students to get started with their summer activities just a little bit early. And our Seguin High School graduation is still remaining the same. It will take place on Friday, June 11th at 8 p.m. in the new Matador Stadium. This will be the first graduating class to graduate at the new facility. And we're excited about that and looking forward to that very special and important event. So on April 29th, we kicked off a thought exchange, and this tool has just been powerful. It allows us to really gauge what the thoughts are out there in the community on a variety of topics, and we look forward to utilizing this tool much more frequently next year, as it has been just powerful in allowing us to have feedback. The question that was posed to our community on April the 29th was, what are your thoughts and feelings about key protocols that we should have in place for the next school year? We kept that thought exchange open for just over a week, although most of the thoughts were shared on that during those first couple of days. We had 384 individuals who participated in some way, and we had 312 thoughts that were shared. Now, get this, this is a huge number here. There were 11,710 ratings. That is where individuals who participated went in and rated a thought. And this is what allows us to really gauge, what are the most important things that we need to pay attention to as a district. 46% of those thoughts that were shared, or 46% of the participants were parents and guardians, and 50% were staff. So it was evenly split. We had great participation from parents and our staff. Now, what is interesting is how this platform analyzes that data to really tell us what people are thinking. And as I said with the mask during that last town hall, it is a very controversial issue. It is highly politicized. There are people who believe strongly about both sides of the spectrum. And so this data is really indicative of where we are as a society when it comes to masks. When it came to thoughts that were shared about masks, you can see that on side A, for individuals who felt that there should not be any more masks or that it should be optional, those rated at a 4.8. People who felt that way rated that very high. On the opposite side of the spectrum, you have those who felt that we should continue with the mask mandate for a variety of reasons. And they rated those thoughts at a 4.7 on average. And that's very high. You can see with that Venn diagram there that you felt one way or the other. There wasn't a lot of middle ground. The middle ground was more so on other areas. As you can see in the middle of this slide, a lot of middle ground when it came to keeping individual water bottles. Parents and staff firmly believe that we should continue ensuring that students are using water bottles and limiting the use of students using water fountains, because we did see a decrease in other illnesses that we typically see, such as cold and flu and strep. The other thought is, if there's going to be remote learning, teachers should only teach remote learners or in person. Most people felt the same about that, and we agree, and we're working towards a plan. As I had shared before, there will not be remote learning for elementary. All elementary teachers are going to be teaching face-to-face. There will be a likelihood that there will be remote learning for 6th through 12th grade, and we are making every effort to ensure that those teachers are not going to be juggling multiple platforms as they did this year. So again, going back to the mask, you have two sides: continue with masks, make them optional, or no mask. Very strong beliefs, and the data indicated that. I'm continuing on with the thought exchange. As far as safety guidelines, the water bottles continue to be an area that everyone, for the most part, feels strongly about continuing. In addition to the water bottles, people want us to continue to ensure that students have access to hand sanitizer, and that we continue with the practice of really ensuring the areas that are touched frequently are sanitized. And so we have made a commitment to continue to invest in those things to ensure that our students' safety and well-being continue. Of course, with COVID, but all other illnesses, because we want our kids in school every day, and we want our teachers in school every day. Again, the same almost divide when it comes to certain protocols that are followed. And so we are going to make a decision based on the data that we have and based on the governor's executive order. The governor has indicated that past June the 4th, school buildings can no longer have a mask mandate in place. So I have worked very closely with my team to really think about the best course of action that we should take as a school district moving forward through the remainder of this year, the summer, and as we prepare for fall. So moving forward, the governor has stated, again, after June the 4th, no student, teacher, parent, or other staff member or visitor may be required to wear a face covering in a Texas public school. School systems can be fined. We can no longer require that after June the 4th. In Seguin ISD, what we are going to do is, beginning on Monday, not tomorrow, beginning on Monday, May the 24th, masks will be optional in Seguin ISD facilities. However, we do encourage those who have concerns about COVID to wear masks. And we want to encourage our parents to have conversations with their students to please have respect for those who are not wearing masks or those who are wearing masks. It is a personal decision that you as individual staff members or as individual students and parents will be able to make. The mask will be optional. We do encourage people to continue to wear masks because, I mean, you saw the data. There are still positive cases, very few, but there are still positive cases. But I do want to ask our community, who has done an amazing job of just giving each other grace and respecting one another and caring for one another, to just respect what everyone's personal decision is. Moving forward after this school year, for summer school and the fall, with our focus on face-to-face learning, we're going to follow CDC and state guidelines while maintaining best practices, as I'd indicated earlier, such as sanitation, hand washing, and etc. We are going to continue to encourage hand washing and continue to ensure that our students and staff have access to sanitizer. As far as summer school and summer activities, masks will be optional. And as far as plans for the fall, unless something changes and we start to see trends and the governor puts out a different executive order, or we get some other information from the Texas Education Agency, for the summer and the fall, we are planning for a mask optional environment. And again, right now, today, effective June 4th, we can no longer mandate that. However, in Seguin ISD, we are going to a mask optional environment. So those are all of the updates that I have for today. I do have an opportunity to answer a couple of questions. I'm hoping to close within just a couple of minutes to get to one of my next events this evening. It has been such a pleasure serving you all this past school year. We have overcome so much together. We're stronger together, and I am extremely matador proud. Next week, we'll bring new challenges as we start to make some changes with our protocols, but I really did feel that it would be best, and so did the team of folks who work alongside me, be best to make masks optional. We certainly do not want to put anyone, students, staff, parents, in any type of compromising situation, knowing that this issue is very sensitive to some. And so on Monday, I am absolutely looking forward to seeing our students' smiling faces again. It has been way too long, and I'm excited about that opportunity to once again see people's smiles. And so the question is, moving from face-to-face to remote, that is going to be on a case-by-case basis. That is going to need to be approved by the principal and then approved by our chief academic officer. And again, we are not going to wait until June 4th, because what I want to make sure is that we do not place, again, anyone in a compromising position. We also need to become accustomed to how we're going to be operating in the summer and in the fall, because it is going to be a mask optional environment. I don't see, neither of us see COVID completely going away anytime soon. And so we will continue to encourage masks. I anticipate that most staff members will continue to wear masks, and we'll continue to see a large percentage of students continuing to wear masks as well. Again, this is a very sensitive issue, but the great news is more people are becoming vaccinated and the trends are looking so much better. With that, Seguin ISD community, I am going to come to a close. Again, it has been an absolute pleasure serving you all. And I know that these last few days of school are going to be special for our students as they make memories as we close out the school year, especially for our seniors. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening and a great weekend.